Hi, I'm Rasanamir Kashadis in here with episode 22nd of Dark 30 USA. I'm with you guys to talk about basically a lot of stuff that is happening. Well, first of all, like this Saturday, it's going to be the round two, the negotiation for the peace talk, the deal, nuclear deal between United States and Islamic Republic of Iran. Steve Witkoff and also Abbas Araghchi, they're gonna meet each other. The first round last Saturday was in Oman, in Muscat, and this Saturday it's gonna be probably in Italy, if I'm not mistaken. Probably Iran, I guess, if I'm not mistaken, suggested to go to the Switzerland, but because the first nuclear deal, the peace deal, was under Obama's administration, happened in Switzerland, so they didn't want to go there, so they decided to make it happen in Italy, Rome, and the Prime Minister or President of the Rome, the lady Meloni, today was in United States to talk about the tariffs war, to somehow, because the reason that Trump brought those tariffs wasn't to fight against other countries. It was just saying that those tariffs are not fair, so come to the table. So I apply, like, I don't know, 10%, like almost half of what you are imposing on us until you come in here. And his ultimate goal is to make it zero tariffs on every zero sum, like from both sides. Because right now, for example, like United States, like American brands, they have to pay like, I don't know, like 10%, 20%, 30% to sell their products in other countries, but other countries, they can sell their product in United States, I mean, for 2.5%. And so, and also United States, for example, like it is 35% of the market, like the consumers, 35% is America, because in America we have so much money, so we can spend so much money. So everyone wants to, nobody wants to lose their connection and the market, market of United States. So that's why they are coming to talk. But Russia, China is fighting, of course, and is trying to retaliate, and it escalated from 25%, 80%, 100%, 200%. We're gonna see what happens. But then. So that's a thing it's going on. But besides that, I think those talks between the Meloni in the Oval Office with Trump, that when she came to the White House, I think it's gonna also, they talk about that, how the negotiation with Iran gonna go and where it's gonna be held. Probably it's gonna be in Roma. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about is right now there's a civil war inside the MAGA movement, MAGA group, Trump supporters. And some people like me, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, David Smith, who else? JD Vance, even at some point maybe Elon Musk too, because he's a venture capitalist also. And shockingly for me, at least, even Pete Hegseth, they are on the side like, hey, we cannot afford another war and it's not in our interest. And as you saw in the Signal leak messages, when they were arguing about if they have to attack Houthis or not to open the canal so other ships can go through, JD Vance was saying, first of all, it doesn't resonate what we are doing with the President Trump message. The only thing that we can send to the world is like, hey, look, we are tough. But second of all, like only 3% of our ships goes through that, so we won't get hurt that much. But the Europeans, like 35% of Europeans shipping pathway goes through that channel, so maybe they have to step up. The whole point of this tariff war was to make other countries accountable to pay up, or for example for NATO's NATO alliance, Trump, the problem wasn't like he didn't want to get out of the NATO. He was just saying, hey, I shouldn't be the only one who's paying 5% of my GDP. Other countries should pay up as well. But if we are doing it free for them, then why would they listen to me, to us? Which is totally understandable. And he said, if we do it free for other countries, so besides that, nobody wants another war. Nobody wants to bomb in Middle East area, and also it will affect the oil price actually in the Middle East, and nobody likes that. So it is not in our interest. And that was kind of like a disagreement over there on the leak messages in the signal. And interestingly, Tim Walz was the one who accidentally added the guy from the Atlantic, the journalist from Atlantic, but he didn't get fired. Instead, one of Pete Hegseth's counselors, one of the Pete Hegseth's right hand, got fired, which had no involvement with leaking those messages, apparently. But it turned out he was one of those people who said we shouldn't listen to Israel all the time and attack other countries on their behalf. So it's so funny. Who was behind the leaking the messages? Tim Walz. But Tim Walz stayed in the job. But one other person, one of the Pete Hegseth's people, his right hand, I forgot his name, he actually got fired, which apparently had nothing to do with leaking those messages. But interestingly, we found out he was against listening to Israel and attack other countries on behalf of them in the Middle East. But Tim Walz is a war hawk and really wants to go at war. And the funnier part is, we're going to see on the redacted, they talked about that. Israel is saying, oh, more people should be fired. Isn't it odd? Like the message got leaked. That was for us. It's about us. It has nothing to do with any other country. So the messages was leaked. And why is Israel so insisting that more people should be fired because of those leaked messages? First of all, it's very suspicious. Only those people who were against Israel are getting fired, even though they had nothing to do with leaking those messages. But those people who allegedly they were behind it, they mistakenly added the Atlantic journalist, they keep the job, like Tim Walz. Tim Walz should be the one who should be fired right now. And now Israel said more people. So is it sabotage? Like it feels like, I mean, it was kind of like deliberately they leaked those messages. So Trump would be mad at JD Vance. Oh, why are you talking like that to me? You have to listen to me when I said we have to fight them. We have to, because the way that JD Vance was talking is like Trump doesn't know what he's doing. Like, you know, he doesn't know what's going to happen if he keeps doing what he's doing. So it was kind of like, feels like it was part of the plan. I don't want to conclude anything, because the only people who are getting fired are the people who opposed attacking other countries on behalf of Israel, which had nothing to do with leaking the messages. But on the other hand, the person who mistakenly added keeps the job. And Israel is insisting more people should be fired, which is none of their businesses. It's just odd. But anyway, it gets even more interesting. So now the division is like some people that are saying, oh, also Tulsi Gabbard is saying, hey guys, they are coming to the table, we are talking, we cannot afford another war, the price of oil gonna go up, gonna go to the, it's gonna be bad, everything gonna go worse. Like we already are on the tariff war, we are on the negotiation with Russia about the Ukraine-Russia war, and also we have problem with the Greenland for the security reason, and Canada. We already have enough problems. How about let's not add one more problem to already those problems that are existing. They're existing right now, and kind of like people are saying after 90 days we have seen no improvement. So right now New York Times is saying, well, some people that are saying, no, we shouldn't fight. Other ones that say, no, we should fight. Those people who are war hawks, like Tim Walz is one of them, interestingly, didn't get fired. Mark Rubio, of course, we know that what a war hawk is already. And these people, they want to go to the war. And now they are saying, apparently, Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel, said to Trump, let me attack Iran's nuclear facility by end of the next month, by next month, as early as next month, which is May, right? And Trump said no. And he insisted and he said no. And when they talked, the second time that Netanyahu came to the White House, we all knew that he didn't come for the trade deal. It would be just one phone call. He went there to talk, to get the permission, to get the green light to attack Iran. And Trump said no. And again, it gets even more interesting. Why are we gonna hit their bases if already Tulsi Gabbard is saying we have no evidence to show that they are making nuclear bomb whatsoever? Forget about the fatwa of Khamenei. Let's say they are doing taqiyya, they are trying to hide it, they are lying, you cannot trust them. Okay, forget about the word. Our researchers, our inspection, we haven't got to the conclusion they are making nuclear bomb. Tulsi Gabbard is saying that in front of the Congress. If she's saying that, why are we bombing if we already know that not only they don't have the bomb, they are not even making it, and there is no indication to convince us that they are even working toward that pathway. If they are not making it, they don't have it, and they don't have any intention to do that. Why are we again bombing them? Bro, come on, we cannot be stupid enough. Like, what I hate about Republicans today is like when it came to those woke thing on the left, everyone tried to be a party of common sense. They try to say everything which is understandable, which is, as I said, common sense. Everyone accept that. Women are women, men are men. Like those stuff that it's agreed like by everybody, right? Like all about those woke stuff. But when it came to Israel, everyone went to the default setting, like they don't know what they are talking about. They just repeat those lies. Like, it's interesting how these Republican and conservatives, when it comes to Democrats and liberals, they are the people with the common sense. They are logical. They are reasonable. But the moment it comes to Israel, they just repeat some words without any. They turn to a zombie. That's hypocrisy at finest. Like, it couldn't be more hypocrite. It couldn't be. Like, if you are really using your brain against woke leftists, why don't you use your brain against woke right or against Israel? I'm saying, like, it's 2 + 2 = 4. If there is no sign to convince us, to show us, they're not making it, they don't have it, and they don't have any intention, but still we're going to bomb it anyway to drag us to another war. What is the point? What is the benefit for United States? Yeah, if they were attacking us, of course, why not? Like, everybody should know that they shouldn't mess with Americans. If they're attacking our bases, our soldiers, yeah, of course, let's go fight. Not tomorrow, tonight. I totally agree. Anybody who messes with American, like, I'm Jacksonian isolationist. Like, I don't want to mess with the world, but if somebody messes with us, we're going to give them a harsh lesson. But us, not them. I don't trust any word that Islamic Republic says. Tulsi Gabbard is saying. Director of National Agency was saying that no, we don't have any evidence to show that, but still we're going to bomb that. Anyway, so now Benjamin Netanyahu wanted to have the fight to bomb them and have the support, air support from United States, and Trump said no, they're talking with us, let's see what happens. And now there's a little, confusion. Like Witzka said in the beginning, like, only as long as they have enrichment for 3.67% that can be used for, agriculture, I guess, for the medicine, for pharmacy, for, peaceful purposes, that's okay. right? So more than that has no peaceful doesn't serve any peaceful purposes. It's gonna go toward the bomb, even though you cannot make it with 40%, but it's pathway toward that. So he agreed with 3.6%, and now basically again on his X Twitter, he posted something to say no, they have to get rid of everything. They have all the facilities. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen until this Saturday, but I think it won't be as constructive and as helpful as basically the round one, because this time it's not going to be talking about they're not going to be talking about the everything in general, but into detail, and this is where disagreements start to pop out to show up, to show themselves. But anyway, so that's for one. Right now there's a war, like many people. David Smith said, not only I don't support anymore Trump if he goes to war with Iran, this David Smith said, but also I would apologize for the rest of my life for voting for this man, because think about that. Many people, like, he was president of the peace. And you know that attacking Iran is not attacking Houthis. You're attacking a country, and we have so many, like, my priority is American soldiers. We have 50,000 soldiers around Iran. If they didn't, if we didn't have any American soldiers over there, okay. But whatever we do, we're gonna pay the price, not Israel. We're gonna pay the price. They're gonna attack us, not Israel. So why should we do that? I am America first. I'm a nationalist. I have to care about American people. And this is very dangerous game. Very dangerous game. Right now there is a disagreement and there's a civil war over there. We have to see what happens. And also when it comes to the free speech, now they are going after everybody criticizes Israel, because let's say 20 years ago that was on social media, everyone was believing everything that they were told, but right now people are tired of those lies that have been told to, especially after 2020, after the COVID. Many things that were supposed to be conspiracy theory happen to be true, and right now people don't know who to trust. So let me start with the freedom of speech and then see what's up.
To engage in a discussion, and sometimes discussion just being about, again, basic morality, basic principles. Should children and women be blown up into perpetuity as a response? That feels like a basic moral issue for me. This is going to get even crazier, you guys, because it does seem that we are constantly carving out these special territory for discussions pertaining to Israel. Like, the smears are never more insane. And it's something to pay attention to on the right. I am telling you guys, what is happening right now is insane, right? They are trying to infringe upon our speech in ways that are getting very dark and very creepy. David Friedman, who was Trump's former U.S. ambassador in the first term, former U.S. ambassador to Israel, essentially is praising this current administration for jailing and deporting critics of Israel, and was specifically asked about me and Tucker Carlson. And he's calling for more deportation, jail, and the cutting of funding to anti-Semites, people that are openly discussing. This is going to be like Dave Smith in the future. Pay attention to this. Where are all of those free speech people who gripped it off of free speech and who won't say anything, and recognizing that this administration, this current administration, is taking a turn that is quite dark, okay? It is not what we signed up for. We are supposed to be the people who defend speech. So why is it now I'm finding myself in agreement with Anna Kasparian and Cenk over at the Young Turks, who are calling out what is happening and how suddenly there is this squeeze on speech only as it pertains to the special topic of Israel? Take a listen to what Anna had to say on the Young Turks.
David Friedman, who actually was Trump's ambassador to Israel in his first term, he doesn't just stop at progressives and their critique of Israel. He's also focusing on the right wing as well. And I suspect that this is waking the right wing up.
Yeah, this is not going to play well.
Because if you think that free speech violations are only going to impact the left, you'd be mistaken. Take a look.
I condemn anti-Semitism on the right and on the left. I'm an equal opportunity condemner of anti-Semitism.
You're alluding to Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, none of them are any good on the right. On the left, I don't like any of these anti-Semites, and I'm not shy about it. There's no reason to think we're ever going to convince them, but we can deport them, we can put them in jail, we can make their lives miserable, we can cut off their funding, and that's what the Trump administration is doing for the first time.
Okay. Now understand what he considers anti-Semitism. And by the way, you're an American citizen. If you are spewing anti-Semitic garbage, you're actually free to do that as long as you don't act on it, right? Free speech is a thing. Hate speech is protected under the First Amendment. This guy thinks that simply criticizing how Israel is prosecuting the war is already anti-Semitic. It's already anti-Semitism. And he wants to throw you in prison for it.
Yeah.
In prison for it.
And by the way, that was an answer to a question about Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. So we're not talking about student visas anymore.
Oh my God.
Now we're talking about core American podcasters, people in media on the right and the left. If you criticize Israel, he says, well, you have no heart and you have no mind. You have no heart because of course you should know when Israel slaughtered 15,000 children, it was the most moral thing to do. And if you dare disagree, we'll arrest you. And what did he say? Oh, we'll cut off your funding. By the way, he's like, it's anti-Semitic to say that the Jews would control speech in America. But if you dare cross Israel, we will cut off your funding, we will deport you, we will arrest you. But no, don't say it. If you say it, what I just said, I'm gonna call you an anti-Semite.
No, maybe I'll throw you in prison.
Okay, they're saying, well, we start with the left, but we're equal opportunity condemners.
Yeah.
So Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and everyone else, you start slightly criticizing Israel, we got a jail in Louisiana and then one in El Salvador that Israel can send you to via the US government.
It's insane, okay? It is insane. Time for Americans to wake up to what is happening, okay? Because our freedoms will be taken away very quickly. And yes, it is happening under this administration, okay? 1000% Trump is being surrounded by ultra-Zionists who are getting him to take stances that are running counter to freedom. And those of us that are calling it, I don't care. I really don't care what you call me. I don't have to survive a Trump administration. My kids have to be able to grow up in a free country. I just can't. I will not tolerate whether it's happening on the left or the right. Anyways, you guys, before I get into some of your comments, can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. First, I'll remind you about American Fight.
All right, yeah, I totally agree with what Candace, Anna Kasparian, and Schenk they were talking about. But actually, this is something breaking point. Let's see what they say as well.
Is this being done for America or for Israel? I mean, this is a fair question. Is the United States government now just taking edicts and orders from Israel? Is this what people voted for when they elected Trump, is to have a country taking orders from Israel? I don't think so.
So, I respect him. And you know what I like about that is we can sit here and talk about this stuff all day long. But that being in the brosphere, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
All right, guys. This was Tim Dillon. And also, let's see, redacted.
Times finally catches up to our reporting here at Redacted. A few weeks ago here on the show, we reported that there was a team of anti-war Trump cabinet members who were actively working to prevent a war with Iran, trying to stay away from doing Israel's bidding in Iran. But they were up against neocons. And Israel, which of course desperately wants American help in destroying Iran. They've wanted it for more than 30 years. We played you the clip yesterday of Benjamin Netanyahu, of course, back in 2002 in front of Congress, calling for us to help destroy Iraq, calling for us to help destroy Libya. Check. Yes, we did that. And then Netanyahu, of course, said the third one on that list is to destroy Iran. So far, we've not done that. We learned that this group of anti-war folks is made up of my old co-host at Fox, Pete Hegseth, who's now the Secretary of Defense, Vice President J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, Tulsi Gabbard, and Susie Wiles. So interestingly, though, the New York Times says it was the Tulsi Gabbard, Pete Hegseth, J.D. Vance, and Susie Wiles. They didn't mention Marco Rubio in their reporting last night, but our reporting does include Rubio in this mix, which is interesting. Of course, and then I said, and I'll say it again, the main man sort of leading the charge for war against Iran has been neocon Mike Waltz, the same guy involved in the weird Signal chat leak, which we covered here a few weeks ago. But it looks like the anti-war group shut him down. J.D. Vance shut him down. Marco Rubio shut him down. Pete Hegseth shut him down. And according to the New York Times, though, he's agreed, in fact, they quote this in the New York Times piece, that an attack on Iran would drag America into a deep abyss. Man, Netanyahu must be pissed. Joining us now, Colonel Douglas Macgregor joins us today.
He's not in yet.
Oh, he's not here yet. Okay.
Yeah, he's not.
Well, okay. Well, we'll bring him in a second.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
All right, good. So the New York Times reports that Pete, as according to Max Blumenthal, who points this out, the New York Times reports that Pete Hegseth was among the Trump officials opposing the U.S. launching a massive war on Iran on behalf of Israel. 3 Pentagon officials have already been fired for unknown leaks. Unknown leaks in this story. Israel lobbyists are now calling for more firings over the leaks that led to this story.
Colonel's in now, Clayton, by the way.
All right. So the Israeli lobbyists are telling our government that they need to fire more people over these leaks because they think that this is really bad news. This is really bad news for Israel because they desperately want the United States to help them bomb the shit out of Iran. Colonel Douglas Macgregor is here now.
All right, okay, so I already explained about everything that I showed you guys. Just for the conclusion, for the wrap up, I'm gonna say the first video about the Candace Owens, You know it is bad when somebody like me, Ken and so on the right side of this spectrum, we are agreeing with people like Anna Kasparian and Chenks. Nothing against them, but we are totally from different world. If you put it that way, like it's very bad. You know it is bad when from very far left to far right, everyone is unhappy about that. So because at least I don't know about Democrats, you know, they don't. I don't think. I don't believe like they believe in what they are saying. I don't think so. So they care about the free speech. They care about the humanity. They care about everything as long as it can hurt their opposite side. Not only them, not only young Turk, they are actually the best one on the left. They are very reasonable people. I respect them. I'm talking about those other people on the left. Basically, they care about everything. As for example, let's say Nancy Pelosi. Apparently, she bought so many shares from Nvidia, and few months after that, Nvidia's stock price went up to the roof. But none of the Democrats, they were saying, oh, we have to ban people in Congress, prevent them from exchanging stocks, from buying and selling stocks. So as long as it was one of them, that was nothing to see. But when that kind of type of bump and dump thing in the Nasdaq happened, basically it went down. S&P 500 went down and up in one day. Trump put a pause on those tariffs on every other countries after Liberation Day, exactly 1 week after, even though he said, I'm not going to put a pause. But he did. And people say, how can we trust you when you change your word? He said, you have to be flexible. I totally disagree with what President Trump did over there, because his words, we trust his words. America is based on the trust. Dollar is backed by trust. Everything it made America great. Greatest country in the world is based on the trust, not necessarily gold or the piece of paper called dollar, but the trust. And if we lose the trust, then how can, imagine if Trump tomorrow promised something to people who are doing working in the stocks in the market, and since people don't trust him anymore, you cannot expect to see the result that you want. Everything should be based on the trust, especially if you are the president, if everything depends on your signature. Anyway, on that note, now everyone, even Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren was saying, oh, I'm gonna bring the bill to the Congress to prevent all the congressmen and women from dealing, because apparently some people, they knew that it's gonna happen, so they bought, because they knew that Nasdaq, S&P, Nasdaq raised, the bar was 12% plus, and changing 12% in one day, that's a lot. So for that reason, basically everyone now is against exchanging stocks, buying and selling stocks by Congress people. But when Democrats were in power and they were doing that, nobody was saying, because these people are making, let's say, $150,000 per year, but their net worth tends to 20 million, 30 million. We all know how. So anyway, that's why, for those reasons, I don't necessarily agree with leftists and people on the left that they care about anything. Because as long as it, for example, like Ukraine-Russia war, that was another thing. When we were so against the war, it is not our war, let war be, let them fight each other, it's not our war. But the moment that Biden was involved in the war, everyone was basically supporting everything that they were saying it is bad for Trump. If Biden or Obama were doing that, it was okay. So for that reason, I don't trust them that much. But us on the right side, we really truly, we're Republicans. We really believe in those values, Republican values, American value, the Constitution. We are the one. Our slogan is like being loyal to flag, to the Constitution, to amendments. So we have to show like how loyal we are. For Democrats, I say they only care about the power. So as long as it helps them, they care about it. If it's not, they ignore any issues that they see if it doesn't help them. But for us as Republicans, as conservatives, we should be the role model. We should be symbol of the loyalty, United States and the Constitution. So, but when I see the Republicans start to twist and start to fold and change their words and turn 180 angles degree to act like, oh, just because right now it's happening in this administration is okay, that's really disgusting. In my opinion, it's very disgusting. I believe in free speech. When they were shadow banning MAGA people, when they deplatformed President Trump, I was against that. I say, even if you don't like it, you have to give the platform to the president. I'm saying it right now as well. Doesn't matter if my party is in power or not. I stand for the right of even my enemy to have conversation. It's not like I have suicide sympathy or something. It's not suicide sympathy. It's like I am loyal to my values, and my values is freedom of speech should be protected under the law, even if it means I have to hear something that I don't like. Like I love Islam, but if somebody says something negative about Islam, it is their right. I won't be happy to hear that, but that's their right. I believe in what I'm saying, and I think people, true patriots, I consider myself as a patriot. Me, David Smith, these libertarians like Tucker Carlson, Ken Sowens, we really mean when we say freedom of speech, free speech. But right now we are saying like, even us, we cannot talk about that. It's not like they are suppressing voices from the left, from the progressive, as Anna Kasparian was saying, rightfully so. They're coming after us as well. They're coming after MAGA people. MAGA people. Like, you know how many friends I have lost for supporting Trump? You know, you don't have any idea how many good friends, how many opportunities I lost because I believe Trump is protecting America. He wants to make America great again. If it is the price that I'm paying for standing for American value, I'm doing it. And now we are demolishing, destroying, disrespecting American value for a foreign country. Oh, no, it's not going to happen. No. And they want to take Tucker Carlson and Ken Sowens, literally most famous male and female journalists in the United States. Most famous male and female journalists in the United States. It's unbelievable. They wanted to put the jail, deplatform them, freeze their bank account just because they are saying something that they don't like. It's totally against free speech. It means we are just a clown. It means Republican Party is a circus. Everything that we blame Democrats of, we are guilty of as well right now. Just that time we didn't have the power. You remember like when stock market was crashing under Biden, everyone was talking about the economy. And now stock market is going down. Everyone is talking about the Jesus. Everyone is talking about the church. Oh, money is not everything. Life is way more important. What? Are you clown? Is it circus? Is it clown show? Like when Biden was president, everyone was crying about the price of air, gas. Oh, American families deserve to have the cheap gas, cheap eggs, those are cheap groceries. And now nothing is cheaper, but doesn't matter. Jesus loves you though. You know, it's all about God. It's all about money is not everything. So what? No. I care about American families not being able to afford cheap gas, cheap grocery, cheap eggs, cheap milk. When Biden was president, still I care about that when Trump is president and the next president and any other president. It doesn't matter. That's my value. As a nationalist, I want the best for my people. But to just whenever it happens under our administration, the party that we support, that's not a big deal, no biggies. But it happens for others, it's end of the world. That's a very clown show. And right now it's happening with the Israel thing. It's like, I'm saying, of course, everyone advocate for the violence should be dealt with, should be arrested. Nobody, no violence. But Candace Owens, literally Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, what have they said that makes you think you have right to arrest them? And right now, President Trump said, homegrown American, we're going to send them to El Salvador. So even if you have American citizenship, you can be deported to El Salvador. It's not only illegal immigrants. And that is very dangerous, because think about that. Let's say next round, another thing like COVID happens, and so whoever is not vaccinated goes to El Salvador. Just don't look at like right now. It's going to get worse. And forget about that. Let's say we are selfish people. We care only about ourselves. It's not even serving us. Let's say forget about Democrats, only for us. These people are Trump supported. These people are MAGA. And still, they want to go after them, put them to the jail, take away their money, like basically cancel them. Everyone who was against cancel culture, right now they are pro cancel culture only for sake of Israel. So Israel is your price. The price that you would fold, you would betray your values for conservatives is Israel. Because everything that you were blaming Democrats for, now you are guilty of as well. Only because of Israel. So now we have to see. This Saturday, this next week is going to be in this next 2 weeks, because two things is happening. One, in next month, Trump is going to the Saudi Arabia, and over there he has to give them some promises, because Saudi Arabia says, hey, Iran is very dangerous. I mean, if you don't control them, then give us more support. They want to buy more equipment, military equipment, and want, something like the NATO thing to make sure America defends them. But right now, United States says, if I have a deal with Iran, I can go to Saudi Arabia and say everything's fine, right? So United States doesn't have that much time. Iran also doesn't have that much time, because economically they are collapsing. They really need some of their money be unfrozen. Some of those monies that are unfreeze in other banks, they should be released and go back, because it's very not sustainable, not that much. And people in Iran, they are really, rightfully so, they are angry about the economy. Also, Israel doesn't have that much time. It cannot say, okay, I'll wait 4 more years. He cannot continue fighting, like for how long are you going to keep the fighting? Because in my personal opinion, I think the war with Gaza is continuing, so he has the reason to attack Benjamin Netanyahu, to attack Iran. Because if they were with peace with Gaza, if there was a peace in Gaza, Houthis wouldn't attack them, then there would be no reason to we move all our navies, all our ships to the region, to the Middle East. So I think the only reason that he has still attacking Iran is on the table, it's still in conversation, is because there's no peace in Gaza. So right now, as long as the war is going on in Gaza, he can attack Iran. After that, he cannot. So the window is getting narrowed down more and more day by day. So Netanyahu doesn't have that much time. Iran doesn't have that much time, because economically, the situation is not sustainable. Also, America doesn't have that much time, because we are in tariff war, and people are saying, hey, it has been basically in 2 days, it's going to be 90 days. So it has been 90 days, and nothing has got cheaper, and everything has got worse. We have seen no peace, no cheap gas, no cheap eggs, no nothing. Stock market is crashing, no jobs. Other countries are retaliating, so we cannot export that much, we cannot import that much. Everything is getting more expensive. No job is like, bro, what is going on? And we haven't cut the spending. We haven't seen any I understand some of them takes long, but we haven't seen even first step that say, okay, this is the first step toward something better. It's just everything is unclear. So what I mean is like it's not the end of it, that from now on it's going to get better. There is a possibility it can get worse. That's why J.D. Vance was talking with Trump and said, hey, we should not attack it. We should not, don't listen to warmongers, to war hawks. If we attack them, the price of gas is going to go up. And if it goes up, it's over. Like already people voted for us for cheaper, better, more quality life. They were spending for more money, everything. So better life, better, wealthier life. Now we are just going to another war. They didn't vote for another George Bush. So it doesn't resonate with our slogan, Make America Great Again. So that's why like Trump rejected Netanyahu to attack Iran. So it has been 90 days. It can get worse. It's not like, oh, it cannot get worse than that. It can get worse easily. So everything depends on next 2 weeks. If we have a deal with Iran, then we can have a deal with Russia. Then we can take care of the China. China gonna fold and come to the table. And then we can go after Canada and hopefully buy them, and then buy Greenland and have those, and then produce oil from within, like inside. Don't import but export oil and natural gas that we have, and we bring jobs back and then make America great again. That is the best scenario that can happen. And it is like kind of like two cases are on the table. There are two possibilities. One is the best, one is the worst. There is nothing between. The best case is in 2 weeks we're gonna have the deal with Iran, so everything gonna be okay. The price of oil gonna stay low, and then we're gonna go to Russia and have the peace talk over there. After, it's gonna be easier if we have already we have taken care of Iran and de-escalate the situation in Middle East, and then with Russia. And after, if Russia is taken care of, it's so easy. China, not going to be the piece of cake, but we are already finding other countries like Pakistan or India or other countries to give us everything that we need from China, so we can replace China with other countries. So China gonna have to fold. And then go to Canada, take care of Canada. Right now they are talking, their election is close. Hopefully one of the liberals get elected, and then we can make Canada our 51st state. And then when people in Greenland, they see everything is cool in United, they say everything is fun, everything is cheap, so why not? Then they're gonna accept that to be our states. But they have to see, well, right now nobody wants to be part of United States because we are in a mess. But if every mess is taken care of and life is so easy, like dreamy, they say, yeah, why not? So then it would be easier for Greenland to join us, and after that we just make America great again and hopefully send the first human on the Mars. That's the best case scenario. That it's one of the possibility. But the other one is exactly opposite. We get dragged to the war with Iran, and Iran kills some of our soldiers, and we have to respond. It escalates, and Russia, who probably Putin would love it, so say, okay, now I can make more territory, because apparently Putin is joking, is teasing about seizing more territory. So it's not like he has got enough and he wants to keep them. He said, well, right now, since we are in negotiation, why don't I grab more lands? So in the negotiation, I added them as well. So Russia wants to add more lands. So while we are busy fighting Iran, Russia gonna escalate situation with Ukraine, and we cannot help Ukraine that much because we are already involved. One of our feet is in Middle East. And then China says that's the best, because now we are losing the tariff war, we are losing the economic war, because we are spending all of our money on the artillery, on the weapon, on everything. Our focus is on helping Ukraine to hold the line and also fighting Iran. And China gonna be the winner of this war, because while we are frustrating ourselves on unnecessary wars in Europe and in Middle East, China focuses on expanding its partnership with other countries, and that would send a very bad message to the world that you see everything that United States put its feet on, it's going to turn to a mess, it's going to turn to a fire. Every time they are bringing war to the table. So other countries, they say, oh, the island of stability is China, not United States. So basically us being dragged to the war going to help other countries to get toward China. And so we lose the battlefield, we lose the economic war, tariff war, and also Canada going to have more leverage, because right now China and Canada, they are partnering with each other because they both are seeing like us as an adversary, and it can be dangerous. If China falls, Canada is out. But if we get weaker by going to the war, and China gets stronger, then Russia gonna have Canada gonna have the upper hand. So it's not gonna help us either. So that's why I'm saying, like, it's kind of like a dominoes. If one goes good, everything gonna get better. But if one goes wrong, everything afterward gonna, like clash, gets worse. So I think it's not only talking with Iran, negotiation, peace deal, but it is way more than that. It's the first card of this domino thing. And if it goes bad, everything gonna escalate worse, and it's the consequence of that. We're gonna see the consequence on Russia, Ukraine conflict, and with China tariff war, and then Canada and everything else. So nobody wants that war, and I think in next week, probably we're gonna see what's gonna happen in next 4 years of President Trump term. This his second term, President Trump's second term. I mean, everything can happen, just like a COVID out of nowhere. Something happens, like the virus get leaked. But if everything goes as we expect, this negotiation is crucial to how this administration gonna look like and which pathway it's gonna take in next 4 years. So I don't know. We have to wait and see and pray for peace. And as a nationalist American, I want the best for my country. I want my people, American people, be safe everywhere they are. That I love this country as an immigrant. I'm so proud that I am breathing in the United States, and alhamdulillah for being in the greatest, because since I was a kid, when I was making a dream city, because I wasn't happy the way that my classmates were behaving, and I was saying, like, I wish I had the class that teacher was like that, class was, you start to dream, you start dreaming of imagining what would make your class, your school better. If you had pool, I don't know, if you had more sport classes, like exercise classes. I don't know if we had more art classes, if math was more fun, like if we had better food in the buffet or whatever, you start to see everything that you would like it to be better. So it started with the class, with the student classmates, classmate, teacher, the class, the school, and then family, home, city, town. And eventually you keep thinking, and over the, like, let's say in 2 years, I got to the point, what is the perfect society would look like? From the perfect class, I went to the perfect society, and then I was imagining if people behaved like that, if jobs were like this. I mean, of course, I was kid. I wasn't looking at on the like a political side or economic aspect of it, but just like from my vision, teenager, childish vision. I was in. So I got used to just imagining how it could be better, and I scaled up to the society, to the city from the class. At that time, I couldn't even locate United States on the map. I didn't know even where it was, what their language, nothing. I was kid, and in the Middle East, We don't know that much about, we didn't know at that time that much about only 9/11. That was like a big news. We were seeing that, but I even didn't know where it was, anything, New York, West New York, nothing. I didn't know nothing. But then when I grew up, and especially after I came to United States, I saw when you see Constitution, when you see history of United States, you say, oh, it is so similar to that perfect society that I imagined when I was a kid. Of course, it's very more complex. There is more complexity into it. But the concept was the same. The American culture, American value, American dream was so similar to what I was dreaming. And of course, I was inspired by Hollywood, by everything that I was seeing on TV, Hollywood TV, animation, cartoons. So probably those values, those things that I was seeing from the TV, from music video, from cartoon, animes, and movies from Hollywood, from Western culture, of course, probably inspired me as well. It wasn't like raw imagination without getting inspired by anything. But anyway, what I saw and what I thought, my conclusion was so similar to what I saw in America. And I say, yeah, you know what? I love this country because it's so similar to what I dreamed my society would look like in Iran. So, but right now it is. So that's why I'm very grateful that I am seeing the country. America is not perfect, of course. Nobody claimed that it's perfect, but it's way better than every other country or nation. Culture-wise, economic-wise, and everything, like human rights, everything. So yeah, I love the country. So my priority is the best for my country, my people. And when I'm seeing nobody wants another war, and it makes you think, why are we serving another country? As Tim Dillon was saying, are we trying to make other countries happy at the cost of who, what? Like, if we really truly believe in freedom of speech, we have to accept even those words that we do. This is exactly the argument that the left had. They were deplatforming President Trump because they didn't like what he was saying. I said, well, it's not about what you like or what you don't like. It's about his right is to speak, and we want to listen. But at least they had excuse because they were saying that they are private, which is so funny because they all deplatform President Trump, these independent private companies, corporation, all together. So it means they got the order, like Twitter had nothing to do with Instagram. But when in the same day, in an hour difference, they start deplatform President Trump, it means they collaborated together or somebody gave the order somehow. Like, there's no way that all these platforms coincidentally they deplatform President Trump. Anyway, but right now it is happening. But this one is even worse because government is involved. That one was a private company because this is what they did to Trump. They deplatformed him. He made his own platform, Truth Social. So okay, I understand. But this is the government. You cannot run away from the government. So it's very dangerous. It's very tricky. Because by changing definition of the First Amendment, to say, well, it is not included in First Amendment. You know that if Democrats get in power, they can do exactly what you're doing. But even the worst part is what they are doing. They are abusing their power or change or whatever you want to call it. It's not even serving his fan base. He's not even serving the MAGA people. It's just serving some of the oligarch donor that helped his campaign. So it's not like, oh, there are only Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Amir Hossein, and there are only 3-4 people they don't like that. Millions of people don't like that. And these millions of people voted for Trump. And remember, if right now he doesn't listen to us, if God forbid again something like BLM happened and they want to attack, we don't have that much motivation to defend. Not that we don't love America, but we are saying, bro, you just use us whenever you need us. We were your voice, like when they were trying to put him into the jail. The reason that he's out because of our support. If we ignored him, we say, oh, so what? Okay, we had a good time with Trump. Let's look for Ron DeSantis. If we would ignore that, we wouldn't really put the spotlights on Trump and stand with him. Maybe that would be easier to put him into jail. But we stood up and said, no, you know what? Now we have to fight back. That's why maybe they couldn't push that hard. What did we get in result? Our free speech is taken. And again, those people who voted for Trump are unhappy. It's not like those people, you say, oh, haters gonna hate anyway. It's not like those people who hated Trump now, they are complaining. Those people who voted for Trump are complaining. Tucker Carlson voted for Trump. Candace Owens voted for Trump. David Smith voted for Trump. So it's not going to the good. The direction that we are taking, the pathway, we are not going to a good direction. At least it's not promising. It doesn't look promising. So I hope we have to do something about that. That's why I thought it was necessary to talk about the free speech and also about if we are going to the war and what are the consequences of this war. It's not only about bombing a couple of facilities. It is what they're going to respond. And now our American pride is broken if we don't respond. And then it escalates so quickly. And who's going to benefit that? Is it not in our benefit? And if you think right now everything is expensive, wait for it. If we attack Iran, Iran attacks back. It's just, if the oil price gets unstable, it's over. We are already in fragile situation. It's very shaky right now. We literally can have recession. So we have to be careful. Every step that we are taking toward the peace or fight war with Iran, the consequence gonna be for in next 10 years, in next decade, not only in Trump presidency, but also afterward, because it pushes other countries to say, hey, America is too much of a mess. You know, some people, they are troublemaker. America's troublemaker. But China, you see, it's quiet, it's just working. I prefer to go talk with China. And you know, as I said, America is based on trust. The dollar is not backed by gold, but by trust. And if we lose that trust, it's over. The reason that we are most powerful country in the world because they trust us. But we are showing that they shouldn't trust us because we give you promise, we break our promise. If we give you condition, you listen to condition, we update our condition. If you say, no, I don't want that, if you resist, we attack you. And then say, bro, you're just mess. You know, some people, they're unpredictable. United States right now is showing they're unpredictable. They cannot trust us. And this war with Iran can make Russia get exactly what they want, China get what it wants, Canada get what it wants. And we just gonna lose our empire, gonna lose our power. So I hope it doesn't happen. I hope President Trump gets out of his bubble and listen to us. I think President Trump is living in echo chamber because the way that he is acting, like Douglas Murray got crushed by David Smith, and Douglas Murray is from Britain, is from England, he is British, but David Smith voted for him as a libertarian, and 24 hours after that historical debate on Joe Rogan Experience, Trump goes to the Truth Social and starts to promote his book. Right after the debate. But this is the message that you're sending. So, you know, people like David Smith or people who are following David Smith say, hey, are you trying to send a message to say, screw you, David Smith, after they voted for you, after they supported you? For a British guy that has nothing to do with America, with our election, I guess I'm not going to support you anymore. That's very shaky. So far, Trump is doing everything to make his support. Forget about his haters. Haters gonna hate, no matter what. His supporters are unhappy. Nobody's happy. And he has to make it, I understand it is a very hard decision, but he has to make that decision. Us, the patriots, nationalists, those people who voted for you, for America first, middle class, that's 78 million people, or a bunch of oligarchs, Miriam Adelson, that have paid you to do what they want. Are you on? Because there are only few. They have so much money, but how many are they? How are they gonna remember you? what is going to be your legacy? Your legacy going to be serving America and making Americans be proud of being American, of this country, or just making your oligarchs, your donors happy? He has to make it tough. Like right now, his oligarch wants to go to the war. We don't want to. And he has to pick the side. He was ranting on President of the Peace. That's why he got elected. We don't have mass deportation. We don't have anything, nothing. Forget about the haters. Nothing that he promised us, his voters, his supporters, is happening right now. And going to war with Iran going to be cherry on top. Mark my words. Mark my words and see what's going to happen. So I hope you guys enjoy that. Subscribe, like, comments, help me, motivate me to keep going. I do it because I love America, but of course your support gonna give me extra motivation, and I really appreciate that. Thank you for watching, and like always, as above, so below.